Did you guys know that you could use the pay in 4 option on TikTok Shop? 4 small payments of $25 is not the same as spending $100 on yourself. Girl Math 101. Go look at my showcase.
How's everybody doing today? This is attorney Antonio Moore coming to you to have a discussion today about Klarna. We talked about it about 2 weeks ago, but now I'm posing a different question in the same vein. The question I have for you is really more of a statement in my view. It's my view on it. I believe Klarna is more of a debt collection company than anything else. For many of you guys that are using it, you have no idea that you're nothing more than a target. I'll show you in a second why, but this was created by low-end debt collectors that decided, when I look at it, to create a debt collection issue at transaction rather than waiting for you to fail by giving you a setup that leans towards failure to the rate where now I think 41% or so of the payment plans end up in some kind of late pay status, and then also a third to a half of the people using are subprime. I don't think everyone understands what this is, and I just want to take the time to explain it.
Our story follows one important man, Sebastian Zimakowski. In the early 2000s, Sebastian was working in debt collection. Not a flashy job, but he stumbled upon a common problem. His clients kept saying the same thing. We're going to stop selling on invoices because we don't get paid. There's too much credit loss. Essentially, customers were buying, but when it came time to pay, they couldn't. Businesses were eating a loss frequently, but there seemed to be a solution. Sebastian's client said to him, "If you guys can take the risk, we'll let you handle the transactions." Quickly, the gears in Sebastian's mind began.
So again, this man is a debt collector that realized that if they could step in, and in my view, what he realizes is create debt. And you don't even realize that your thought process is a debt collecting process for yourself and for your life. You believe that you make good decisions, but what's showing up is that you don't have the toolbox, because there's no way that you should look at this thing and think that this is a good way to purchase, especially if you're an individual above 25 and 30 years old.
To turn. If someone could pay it upfront for the customer, they could charge on the transaction and chase the customer's debt themselves, win for the merchant and win for the debt collector. Sebastian pitched the idea to his company, but they weren't interested. So he quit his job and in 2005 enrolled in the Stockholm School of Economics with his friends Nicholas Adelbert and Victor Jacobsen. These three were the co-founders of Klarna. They entered the school's entrepreneurship competition, but people didn't seem to get it. It would never work, and if it would, banks would just do it themselves, one of the judges said. The trio believed in the idea, but it seemed like no one else did. Worse still, the three were students, and students are broke.
So basically, these low-end folk that were doing debt collection, which is the low end of actual finance, took in an idea to create the debt collection before it even happened, and you signed up for it and think it's beautiful because Klarna looked like Fidelity and Schwab with their logo. We don't even have to guess. I want you to listen to the creator and founder of Klarna explain that this is a debt collection company, in my view, is what he's saying.
Yeah, so that's one of our revenue stream. So actually, the best customer is the one that doesn't pay directly, but they actually get a reminder, and then also a debt collection letter, because we're able.
The best customer is one that pays through a reminder and a debt collection notice. Let's hear him say it again so you don't get confused. And I'm just out here just trying to make it make sense.
But they actually get a reminder and then also a debt collection letter, because we're able to add the legal fees, state legal fees in that specific country. So yes, we are our own debt collection firm as well.
So as we go through this show, this is going to be a bit of a mashup. We're going to have TikTok users talking about Klarna of different ages, many of them Gen Z, and it will show that we have a failure here of basic parenting, socialization around money. We have a failure in society where a whole section of society has been born to fail. And many of them are you and your children. And my point today is to explain to you, you don't know enough to make some of these decisions you're making for your house.
And we do that during a different brand, which is called Seguria, not to ruin our own brand.
A video of this lady talking about how she has over $1,200 a month in Affirm payments. And I want to know how it gets that bad, because as somebody who loves Affirm and Klarna.
So he said he loves Affirm and Klarna. There's no way to love a service that is a debt collection service at its heart and not be set up to fail in your own life economically. They have socialized you to love your own failure, and you don't even know the difference.
And Zip and PayPal paying for. My balance has never been that high. Like, even when I can afford the total, I'm gonna still do a pay in four option if it's available, because I just like doing things in like small snackable.
Even if I can afford the total, I'm still going to do a pay in four because I like doing a snackable. None of this makes any sense. They are setting you up with 2-week payments where any of those can go wrong with your bank. And they are not trying to hear your excuses of why it didn't go through. Why would you set yourself up where a company could destroy your life over a Chipotle burrito, over a shirt at H&M? Because you don't know no better.
You know those little kids who, like, you gotta cut up their food for them so like they can just eat it like that? That's who I am in real life and in my finances. But with that being said, I'm still pretty responsible. Like, half the time I pay.
So he pretty responsible. So you a grown man with a beard and all, and here you are, need your food economically cut up for you so you can digest it. Grow up, get you some grow up, understand that this Klarna ain't nothing but a way not only for it to cut up your food, but cut up your life. You will get sliced by this.
Pay the stuff off early. How do you have $1,200 in Affirm payments? Like, what did you buy? What is your limit? Ma'am, what's going on? And keep in mind, that was only Affirm. She had balances on all the other payment platforms too.
Break up with Klarna. I am begging you. I also do my makeup. So how Klarna markets itself to retailers is that they know that they can get.
She about to break it down. I want you to listen intently to what she says. It reflects what I was saying. I went a little deeper in terms of the contract last week, and if you missed that, please do check out that show that I showed last week where I showed the contract and everything else. Here it is right here. But we're going to talk about it today because I want you to hear this.
Use Klarna to increase their basket size. And by the way, that's not a secret. It's literally on Klarna's B2B website. 58% of instant financing customers have a higher average order value than typical shoppers. So they are getting you to spend more money than if you were to just use your own cash. Number two, you're literally putting yourself into debt. It might not seem like it because you know that you're going to pay it off in however many months, however many payments, but you're going into debt for that jumper, those pair of shoes, anything that you're buying on Klarna, it's debt. Number three, Klarna benefits from your instant gratification.
Yeah, I really suggest everyone should stay away from Affirm and Klarna and Afterpay. I have so many payments coming out constantly.
Many of these folk are showing the wealth gap. If you notice, there's a wealth gap, a racial wealth gap as well. And what we have to begin to ask ourselves is, are ADOS black folks in particular being set up to be nothing more than failure, and also the grease in the wheels in how they view the world? This young woman, the man earlier, they're talking at an entirely different level than the woman before them. What are you doing in your home to prepare your children? You can't prepare nobody if you're using Klarna in front of them. You have failed them as parents. Part of my show is to take it beyond the generic Klarna is bad and to say to you, you cannot do Klarna in front of your kids and then try to teach them financial literacy. You cannot do Klarna in front of your kids and not understand you are setting up some of the lowest part of society because they won't know the difference. You need to be doing the work to understand what's wrong with all of this, or you end up like her.
Dad, I'm just going to pay these off and shut it all down because it'll make you broke, okay? I owe a lot. It's ridiculous. I just take it away from me. I actually owe $3,623.88.
This woman just said she owes $3,000. The middle black family in America, family, not one person, only has the wealth of $1,500 or $1,800 or so. We went through that ad nauseum over the years. You can go check out that in prior videos. She has $3,000 in debt in micro loans. She has set herself up to possibly be homeless, to have no access to food and services. She has set herself up for a life of calamity, not understanding you never should have touched Klarna, but you got Snoop and everybody else selling it to you, right? What are you talking about, Tone? Well, what Klarna did is they went out and got people like Snoop and Shaq and ASAP Rocky. They got ASAP Rocky. I think that's him. He in a basically a liquor store in an urban looking setting with the lotto in the corner. This is a con man in my view. And many of the celebrities are. Let's look at this, what Snoop says. I've endorsed them, advised them, and now so you advise them how to target the urban area. What else could he advise them on? And now I'm looking to invest in them. I plan to keep growing the portfolio. You dig? This is total nonsense, bro. And I just say to you, go watch that prior video, but this is an entirely different video, and we get into the weeds.
So I only owe $151. And with Capital One, I have a credit card, Capital One, I owe $314.56. I have a Barclay card, I owe $3,780.45. I have an American Express card, I owe $1,00130.06. So that's a grand total of $10,133.50.
Up 30 to 40%.
So I'm going to stop. After I pay all this off, I'm not going to be charging anything. Okay? Just too much debt. Yeah. I've been a bad.
And if you still have any pending Klarna payments, just know that you're likely the reason why Klarna is facing bankruptcy right now.
A lot of the young Gen Z are on this new thing of making Klarna a victim. Klarna is no victim. They are a bad debt collector. They bet on a set of debt that didn't make any sense to give out in the hopes that they could take advantage of people. And now they're finding out that they made bets with the subprime market that might not pay them back for microloans that didn't make no sense because there really is no collateral. The collateral they tried to set up is the first payment, but what they didn't understand, why am I saying that? When you use Klarna, you give up the first payment, that was your collateral. They didn't understand that's not enough collateral. So it's a bad business model. So these young Gen Z are speaking about Klarna in a way of a savior effect, where they need to speak up for this company that took advantage of people as if you somebody hero. Go sit your little young ass down. Don't know what you talking about.
As although Klarna has scored over 100 million active users all across the globe, they have actually doubled their losses within the first quarter of this year alone, totaling to about $99 million as IPO remains on hold. Now, assuming that Klarna actually goes bankrupt, any outstanding obligations would obviously go to the necessary administrators and debt collectors. Like, the debts won't just vanish along with the company like most people would likely hope. But with Klarna now facing bankruptcy, it's the way that my jaw literally stayed in place, because you're effectively a lot of the time giving teenagers and young adults an opportunity to buy now and pay later. Spoiler alert, a lot of people are not going to pay later. Let's just say a company whose entire business model is to attract people who typically can't afford a $35 online payment, let alone a burger at Wendy's. That's the company you're telling me is not doing that great during a recession? Yeah, who could have guessed, right?
That's a good point. Spot on. You're going to hear later on as we keep going, people who don't get that point. Spot on. And we need a whole engine to get away from seeing Klarna as a victim versus Klarna as the villain of economics in America for young folks that are not understanding you just can't afford that versus understanding that I can make it in 4 payments. Can we get to it? Can we talk about it today?
Is not doing that great during a recession? Yeah, who could have guessed, right?
Who didn't make their Klarna payments? Who didn't? Why is Klarna talking about they could possibly be filing bankruptcy because somebody they losing too much money? Who didn't make their 4 easy payments? What, you make 2 easy payments and then lock your card up and they couldn't take the rest of the money?
Like, what is this woman talking about, this boomer woman even talking about? We don't need you to preach to us about who didn't make their payments like you some kind of guru on finance. And it's just easy. It's not easy for people to keep track of 4 payments every 2 weeks. It's set up to be hard. For you not to understand it and be of your age is a problem. This is a systemic debt collection company set up to look like it's Charles Schwab or something else to get people to over purchase. That's who didn't make their payments. The over purchase targeted folks that use this service. Can we get to it?
Payment. These folks about to go down. Y'all, if Klarna go down, my God, and if Afterpay leave, we are done, honey. Yes, we don't need to shop. Yes, we got a bunch of stuff, but I like having options. Who didn't make their Klarna payments? You can borrow $25.
What is this woman even talking about? I like having options. Go sit your down.
You can borrow $22.50. You can borrow $11.15 to make your daggone payment. Unlock them daggone cards and let them get their money up out your daggone account. Unlock them cards and so Apple can get their money. You done messed around and Klarna now is about to shut down because somebody.
So Klarna, the good Klarna.
We got to do better. Klarna, hold on.
We got to do better.
This is why we can't have nothing, because people like y'all always got to ruin it for everybody. This don't make no.
They're not ruining it for everybody. It's a ruined product. We can go back before we listen to her and listen to this yet again, just to make sure that you guys understand. This man is a low-level white man that was in debt collection.
In the early 2000s, Sebastian was working in debt collection. Not a flashy job, but he stumbled upon a common problem. His clients kept saying the same thing. We're going to stop selling on invoices because we don't get paid. There's too much credit loss. Essentially, customers were buying, but when it came time to pay, they couldn't. Businesses were eating a loss frequently, but there seemed to be a solution. Sebastian's client said to him, "If you guys can take the risk, we'll let you handle the transactions." Quickly, the gears in Sebastian's mind began to turn.
So the gears go in his mind to create a debt collection company that creates a webbing to get you entrenched in debt. Then he later on admits, meaning the CEO, the same man, that they're big. They want you,
but they actually get a reminder and then also a debt collection letter, because we're able to add the legal fees.
Let me say that again.
Yeah, so that's one of our revenue stream. So actually, the best customer is the one that doesn't pay directly, but they actually get a reminder and then also a debt collection letter, because we're able to add the legal fees.
So now we have these young people and this older woman and these uneducated folk trying to present it as if when the actual thing the company is set up to do happens, it's the victim's fault. And the real victim is the folks that are being webbed into using this. You don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Actually filing for bankruptcy because they have lost over $150 million because people like y'all that's abusing it for everybody is not paying back y'all debts.
Don't make no sense.
This is really hurting the people that really need this the most, especially when it comes
Nobody
to
needs
groceries and something like that.
You're not supposed to be buying groceries with this. Nobody needs this. You have a failed socialization by your parents, young woman. You do not understand what's going on around you. You don't even understand what Klarna is. You have built Klarna into the government because the government is failing you. You have built Klarna into a normal banking service. You have built yourself out of America, and I'm here today to tell you.
Their home, like home necessities and whatever. And now you got this going on. This is really like hurting them because it's always got to be the people that wants to buy a whole bunch of stuff that they don't need and just run off with the plug. I'm not even sure if this service even gonna be here for a while, because I don't even know, since there is so much in debt because people are not paying back what they owe. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard what Klarna is. It's like one of those services where you can pay you can buy now.
And again, this isn't just Klarna, it's Affirm, it's Shop Pay, it's all the buy now pay laters. Okay. Afterpay
later kind of deal. Now I use it a couple times though, but I didn't use it as much because I always pay my stuff in full price. I ain't have no problem with that. So, but it's just really the people that's actually taking effect with this, because you know when things, especially the economy it is right now, how the economy is right now is making it hard for individuals that's having a hard time getting stuff like for their house and anything like that. And you know you got people that's trying to mess it up for everybody. So I'm not even sure how long this service is going to be available, because this is really messed up for a lot of people. Now, I'm not sure how this actually goes, but I do believe what they need
that is
fair for the people that wants to use the app and they can't able to use it right now because they had to file for bankruptcy. So
watch this lady. She's even more ignorant than the lady before her with the bonnet, laying down here with bonnets talking. What I'm going to say to you is they do not grasp basic economics. They have built villains into victims.
Y'all putting Klarna in debt is absolutely crazy. Like, you guys are really not paying Klarna back. Like, so y'all are really buying saying.
Let me say it again. Klarna set up high volume, high risk subprime borrowers debt with people and made them over purchase through the setup. You can't speak on this if you don't understand that.
F it, I'm not gonna pay the balance back. Like, do y'all not worry about y'all credit scores? Like, I'm so confused because I be concerned. A bitch is concerned. 137 or 36, I think, $1 million. It's gonna pay that.
But what did I purchase? This is the question everybody always asks. Honestly, Klarna girl. Yep. When I started this journey, I had $9,500 in debt to Affirm and Klarna. I now have it under $3,000, and we are about to pay off 8 of those suckers next week. But what did I purchase? This is the question everybody always asks. Honestly, everything under the sun. I have done groceries. I have purchased concert tickets. I have purchased Airbnb. I have gotten my car.
So what happens with Klarna because of the setup psychologically is what they have banked on is taking away your ability to manage numbers and amounts by splitting it up, by taking away the connection of each microloan. You lose sight in your spending power, and as a result, spend as if you have boundless money. It is a total trap for the most risky people that should be protected against by government, but is not because of voting for Trump, not having the regulation under the Consumer Protections Agency that's being limited under Trump. And I don't think that we understand, because all we understand is the idea that respectability and you should make great decisions. Well, a lot of people don't have the toolbox, and if the toolbox is being stripped of the tools to make great decisions.
Fixed on Affirm and Klarna. I know.
And then the last part is this might go into FICO.
It's crazy.
So initially it was presented as though this doesn't impact your FICO. So people believe that as they use this, but they're going to change the price.
I know.
Wake up, people, because you're under spells. FICO is adding your buy now, pay later apps to your credit report. Your Klarna, your Affirm, your Zezzle, whatever. If you think that you're now going to be able to get away with hiding your debt when you purchase anything on buy now, pay later, I hate to break it to you, that's all over. And you might be somebody who does pay your bills on time, especially when it comes to Klarna and Affirm. That's great. But for some of y'all who I've seen your credit report that have lates on Affirm and Klarna and Sezzle and any other buy now, pay later, I'm going to tell you the one thing that is going to make it very hard for those accounts to come off your credit report. Whenever you're going about disputing late payments, it's really easy to look into the payment history grid and find your dispute reason, because that's often where mistakes are made. It's helpful if that creditor is reporting that account to all 3 of your credit bureaus. And a lot of times when you look at Affirm especially, they are only really reporting to Experian. Now I know they report to Experian and TransUnion, but if you don't see this on your TransUnion report, it's not reporting to TransUnion for you. If you really don't have another record to show where that creditor or the credit bureau is actually making errors, it makes factual disputing a lot.
So you're going to have a system where instead of having your money bulked together with credit cards, and I'm not advocating to have credit debt, but credit cards, the amount is one block of amount. You have all these micro loans, and you have to manage those, and you have to dispute all those separately.
Harder which means you're going to have to really rely heavy on consumer law or Metro 2 compliance to dispute any of the late payments and even that charge off.
I'm here today to tell you, don't let a burrito from Chipotle, a shirt from H&M change the direction of your life. I'm also here to tell you that Klarna, in my view, is nothing more. Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay, they're just debt collection companies that have brought up the process of debt collection to trigger it by giving people that are high risk, high volume, unnecessary loans, and you have built them into an alternative, when in actuality they're nothing more than a way to boundlessly weigh your life down with debt you can't pay. This is Tone Talks. Please go to tonetalks.net, subscribe, donate, and share this video, because I don't know what everybody's doing, but they better figure it out.
Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone